This Lavar Ball divorce is just bad for business. I mean, how much more blows can Hope take? First, you had the Clay Thompson debacle with all the women that have mismanaged their youth and have rode the sexual liberation train in hopes of scoring or bagging a good, solid jellyback simp at the end of the rainbow. It just went up in smokes. Women at the church just waiting to Jesus themselves into a good marriage with a good cleanup man, a good retirement plan. But then they see people like Lavar Ball, who for all intents and purposes, regardless of what you say about Lavar has been a good father, a solid citizen, a little bit eccentric, a little bit exaggerated, says some things in the past. But guess what? The guy has been a solid citizen. Trust me, as far as his character is concerned. So as far as we know. But here's what I'm seeing that's popping up on the Facebook post. Obviously, his wife had a stroke a few years back. He took care of her. Like any good man, men are very loyal to their marriage commitments. Most men, the majority of men, despite these monsters they make us up to mess with, everybody's a monster when a relationship fails. All of you, every one of us. I don't care what you think, or you jellyback simps who think that you finally got that woman that wouldn't have dated you when you were 21 and you think that this is the utopia of the world. When all relationships end, before the relationship end, there's a character assassination campaign which paints you to be this horrible person that makes her a victim. That's just the way it works here. That's just the way it works in the world. And they're going to picture you and characterize you as a monster and her as a victim. And the reason why she left you or whatever else is because you're such a horrible person. You're a terrible person. Or if you left her, it's because you're a horrible person. It doesn't matter which way you look at it. That's why you got to be so much indifferent to it and just carry on with process and procedures and execute process and move on with your life. And Lavar Ball is playing a smart game. He hasn't said anything bad about his wife, and he said things positive about her. So the women are just waiting in the wind. Say something stupid, say something terrible, Lavar, so we can demonize you in the public media. They want to assassinate his character. And even worse, that cucked dude, he's a part of it too. Because remember, it takes a coalition of women and simps to really bring down a good man. They're really going to surround you. You really don't have any friends. That's why a lot of guys, when relationships end, no matter how horrible that woman was, they don't say anything about it. In fact, they play reverse psychology. They talk about what a great person she was, because they know that all statements, all things will be reversed back and used against you as fuel, as ammunition. It'll turn into an attack. We live in a gynocentric environment, gynocentrism, where women are pictured as angels and men are pictured as monsters. Regardless of what, look at the Johnny Depp situation. Everybody thought Johnny Depp was a monster until it finally was revealed that he was not. And that's just the way we are. Shaq, he had to play the game when his wife came out and said certain things. He didn't fight back with fire. He let everybody else take care of that. He just gave a public statement because he knows it's a no-win situation, and he looked at the big picture. But Lavar Ball, obviously 30 years marriage, taking care of his wife, he's finally lost his leg, he's had some issues, and guess what? And in the world with social media, remember, there's a voice that's always in women's ears coming through these phones. Every day, there's something, that device in their hand, and there's all these women that are people that are online, these content creators that are in your relationship. There's a tremendous amount of distractions in relationships. People selling fantasy of a mysterious, wonderful world out there. There's no perfection in this world. There's no perfection in life. They're selling them a dream. Miserable women, old feminists, old ball-busting feminists, old women that are selling this idea of some utopia out here. Or you can have FOMO, or you could, it's all kinds of things going on out here in this world. There's a lot of distractions, especially with technology. So you think you're married, it's just you and your wife in the house, or you and the woman in the house. There's you and your woman and all the voices that she listens to all day long off of social media. Her friends, people around her, people getting divorces, women online, old women that have divorced some guy, making videos about it's okay to divorce the good guy and get out of here. Look, everybody's got, look, it's better to, sometimes it's better for people to just go in their separate ways and live a life of misery anyhow. But the women making videos about divorcing the good guy and getting out here, like there's something out here other than some heavily, viciously, and vigorous pounding out here. Guys like me won't touch you. I'm 51 years old. Shoot, let me figure out you have a history of divorcing the good guy. Shit, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do to me? I'd run. Guys are just going to pound and pass if they have any self-esteem. Unless there's that guy who's just waiting, who has no options. He's been waiting since he was 21 years old and saying, oh, I finally got this one. She got out of a 25-year divorce, 25, 22-year marriage. Look at her. I wouldn't have dated her when I was 22. That jellyback simp, they don't want that guy anyhow. But he's the cleanup man. But women don't want him anyhow. But he'll get with a woman like that quickly. And even with the marriages and the divorces, you look around the people that are around. Some of these are not real friendship, but relationships with cucked men and their wives. And I know you married guys know what I'm talking about. And when that relationship ends, they all go to her side because that guy is scared. He doesn't want to catch the divorce virus. Because, again, he didn't want to lose the best thing he ever had. That woman is his whole identity. She's got his balls. She's clipped it. Again, he was not her first choice. He was the last pick of the draft. And he ain't trying to lose anything. He's scared. He's scared as hell. He's like, man, I better take her side or pretend, he's going to hang out with her. Because remember, it's a coalition. Women don't just file for divorces. They build a coalition surrounding them. But the court of public opinion is going to do what they usually do. With especially the women, I'm not even going to post these negative comments on there because I like Lavar Ball. And I don't want to see, I'm not going to post these on this video of women making all kinds of disparaging remarks, talking about he never took care of his wife. He was an abuser. Listen to him talk. He must have been a monster. That guy could have been, we don't, you know what I'm saying? Like they're making and speculating about his behavior, about his actions, about what a horrible human being he was. And sometimes it's just the way the culture is. The culture itself, in the way it is right now, there's just so many things that destroy relationships and destroy marriages. And more importantly, the FOMO. Women are put up stories about their cougar lives, even though they're taking multiple pills for psychological issues and you get passed around like Skittles. And then obviously women they're not going to tell you that they have to see a therapist 3 times a week because the young boys are treating them like roadkill, basically, and disposing of them. That's how young men treat cougars, like roadkill. Easy pickings, easy grab, especially the fresh ones that just dropped on the side of the highway. They snatch it up because chasing these young women around and trying to hunt them down and get in their pants when they're on OnlyFans and trying to dig millionaires, it's hard work for some of these young men. So, hey, they'll take a cougar at the bar. I mean, old men know that younger women really just want money and security. So we don't live in that fantasy and delusion. It's just the way it is. But these older women really think they think that these young boys want anything other than low-hanging fruit. It's what it is. It's roadkill. And a lot of roadkill, hey, look, we've all had our time with roadkill. You got to pass. That was Klay Thompson's problem, by the way. I ever addressed that. He's a ball hog. When he got Meg this down, he's supposed to pass that ball. But he hogged the ball, and then he had a serious issue with post-nut clarity regret. He tortured after he released himself, and he started hanging out with her and experiencing the true, essence of the ghetto. And he realized that, man, the sex may be a little wild and exciting, but the juice ain't worth the squeeze. And he had that 1,000-yard stare in his eyes. And he looked at his phallus and said, how could you betray us like this? You know what the deal is with that. You've had that post-nut clarity. Now the guys have had it. And sometimes it's better to see it and run than to even go down that portal. Trust me, the feeling will pass. Just fight it and just keep it moving. Trust me. And I even saw the guy in one store the other day, and he's like, what do you think? I was like, don't go down that road, buddy. He saw some, ghetto Keisha. And I said, she had a bad body, but look, man, keep it moving. Keep it moving, brother. You don't want that in your life. It don't go away. That will stick with you. You're going to find that cylinder block in your window. Trust me. Don't think you're just going to pound and move. Some of these things stick with you. It's best not even to open that portal. But moving right along, let's get back on topic. The reality is that in the court of public opinion, it's going to be spun negative. He's going to be turned into a monster. They got to do it. I mean, come on. Who's going to be the cleanup men if they scared? If these dudes scared and they're afraid of, man, even 30 years, we ain't going to get it. 20 years, shoot. Judge Mathis, 39 years, his wife was talking about, you better bring your ass home or else. 39 years, she threatened that dude with divorce. Crazy. So, and the guy's like, well, ain't nobody ever safe. So you just got to ride the wave. Again, some people will bet their future and their life on a creature that runs on feelings. You can forget it. You're going to be disappointed, sadly disappointed in life if you bet. That's why I always talk about men and their own self-development as men, absent of women. And I don't even put women on the channel. And there's a reason for that. Because your mindset, your mentality has to be prepared for transitions. Yeah, men are loyal to their commitments. Men who are men are loyal to the words that come, those vows. Those vows are a feeling for most women, not all women. There's some good women the women that are grounded, but those vows are a feeling for them. Those are a commitment for you. Honor, integrity, commitment, whatever else. These things are as hardcore values that have nothing to do with feelings. And that's a totally difference between us and them. And again, who's talking to them? What are they listening to? What influencer are telling them things? Especially, I'm not a political person, these liberal-minded women. Maybe there's an ideology clash. They don't like the way what you've become as you get older, or things change. Empty nest syndrome. There's all kinds of things going on. The incentives for people to stay together in miserable marriages or situations where they feel they're not happy anymore, women specifically, because that's who's really filing the divorce, is gone. And the society has removed all barriers. Everybody supports it. The community supports it. The women supports it. They don't, the legal system definitely support it, especially those who profit tremendously from families breaking up. They support it. The church is turned into a gynocracy. The pastors, they're scared to lose money. They're scared of women. The politicians are scared to lose votes. So it's a system, it's designed really where men themselves have no other option than to play the game of public relations and say beautiful, wonderful things. It's not just about protecting kids and protecting family. That dude can be suffering like hell in silence. I'm happy now that I see more men coming out and speaking about these divorces, especially these divorce settlements, and especially what happened during their divorces and their child custody battle, because it helps other men. It helps other men. And to be information is good. Channels like mine that are male advisory channels. Again, I'm not pro or anti relationship. I am pro peace, anti torture. I'm pro winning, anti losing. Married, single don't mean a damn thing to me, because whatever situation it could be, you're winning in. You could be single and miserable. You could be married and miserable. You could be single and alone. You could be married and alone. You could be single and happy and living a healthy life. You could be married and happy and living a happy life. A peaceful life doesn't give a rat's ass either way. All I care about is that you have some good mental, physical health, and you're winning in life. That's it. And that's the difference in terms of with my content. Are you winning or are you losing? And if you're waking up every day in a miserable mood, angry, frustrated, annoyed, not feel like anybody's pouring into you as a human being, or you're not getting any type of reciprocation in terms of the energy you put into the universe and the things that you do for people or things that you do in general, as there's no reciprocation and your life is just that of sacrifice, you're doing something wrong. And like I said in this channel with men, nobody takes care of you like you. Get out there, take care of your health, take care of your mental health, especially your finances, your peace, protect that with your life, period. Nobody trying to hear no excuses from you when you make bad decisions. That's the truth about it. They care about women, children, and dogs when things go bad. Maybe your mama cares about you, some women in your family or people around you, that maybe some of your male friends or whatever else. But in general, there's a reason why guys are quiet, is because they know that most things they speak or they say will be used against them. And that's sometimes when women ask that question, oh, why don't you tell me how you feel? Because you're going to weaponize that shit against me. That's why men don't tell women that shit. They know everything they say. It's like talking to the cops. They know everything they say will be used against them at a later date. And that's why they stay quiet. But again, all these coalitions formed during these divorces and whatever else, at the end of the day, people are going to be people. And people are going to try their best to protect and defend a situation or even an institution, especially when there's a profit motive. And right now, there's a high demand for cleanup men. Let me tell you something. There's a high demand now for retirement plan cleanup simps. The culture, the society, the church needs you. You can't all be like a peaceful life, living life on his own terms, or guys like CGA who don't care, or these other guys on this channel living your peaceful single lives, not down at the church, marrying these women with their 3 kids, or you're not trying to be guy number 45, you selfish pricks. Anyhow, peace and blessings to you guys. Make sure you hit the like button. I'm out. Yeah, they say you selfish bastards, like a peaceful life. They look at me strange when I walk in. Why aren't you married? I'm an old man. I already been married, had kids. Like, you got another round in you. Hell no. Kick rocks. Anyhow, I'm out, gentlemen. Enjoy your day, man. Make sure you hit the like button.